Hello, all of you. A very warm welcome to all the students to this particular class. We are again discussing the text issues that matter. In the previous video class, I have already provided you the introduction to Module 3, what the module is meaning and how it has been divided in. These are the things we discussed in that particular class. So in module 3, culture, identity and tradition, we are actually going to look into three different works of specific relation to the theme called culture, identity and tradition. So in this particular module, as we have already discussed, we are discussing about the tradition or the culture or the identity one or an indigenous group has in a society, and how the functioning of identity plays with reference to culture and tradition and things, how the interrelation how these three concepts are sharing and relationship with each other, etc. were the major themes we are going to discuss. So now we are going to discuss the seventh chapter of the text issues that matter, which is Poison Bread, written by Bandhu Madhav. I'm repeating, the chapter is 7, Poison Bread, Bandhu Madhav. So the chapter Poison Bread actually comes under the genre of Dalit literature in India. So Dalit is a group of special consideration. We all know about it. So the culture of Dalit and the culture of Dalit literature, and how the education and the social propagandas and the cultural underlining, etc., gives a new identity to Dalit, is a discussion which we are trying to do through this work. So, as I have already told you, the three chapters of this particular module is giving you a new, a new viewpoint to look into certain traditions, certain culture, and certain identity. So, the identity or the culture or the tradition we are now going to look into through this work is Dalit literature and the untouchable. Okay, so let us go through some background information. So we all know that for centuries we have been believed in certain systems of division of people. We have divided in the basis of too many things, and the race, the culture we follow, the color of our skin, the color of our eyes, and the tone of our skin, and the way you are looking. We have divisions and divisions everywhere. But when you come to India, the major scale of division was caste. Okay, it is through caste, or it is through your religion, you have been divided in groups, and that is still existing today. We still follow certain things today. We are still not being able to get rid of certain untimely things, like this. So the untouchable, which we can say, it is coming after the division of the castes according to the Chaturvarnya and all. So the untouchable is also called Dalit. Officially they are called scheduled caste, formally Harijan. It is a name which was given by our dearest and beloved Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhiji. In traditional Indian society, they are called as Harijan, the formal name of any member of a wide range of low caste Hindu group and any person outside the caste system. So the untouchable are those people who comes under the bottom line of the caste division in Hinduism. So Hinduism is a particular religion where we have too much gods, too many deities to praise to, but we also along with that, we also possess a division of people within the particular caste. So Dalits are those people who comes under the bottom line of this caste division, who are we called as the untouchable. where many of the people hesitant to touch and to talk and to deal with these people. But they are, they have nothing to do with their caste. That is also a matter. The use of the term and the social disabilities associated with it were declared illegal in the constitution adopted by the Constituent Assembly of India in 1949 and of Pakistan in 1953. So all of us know that when India divided, we were divided into India and Pakistan. So our cluster or the people of that united India was divided. Some people went to Pakistan, some of us are left in India. So when the division had happened, to be quoted here once more, that the Britishers' primary tool to make a division in India was the same caste system. But we were, utter fools that we didn't identify, and we are still ignorant to that thing. So, coming to our topic. So, when our Constituent Assembly was actually being established, it was by rule illegal in India that you are, doing anything unfavorable towards the bottom line caste group of India is illegal. That is declared illegal. Okay, right from the 1949 itself. So the official designation scheduled caste is the most common term now we use in India. So in the beginning we call them untouchable, then we call them as a wide variety group combined together, and we call them Dalits. And then Mahatma Gandhi actually called those people as Harijan, which afterwards actually considered as a wrong usage to deal with. Um, so many people from the community came forward and openly told that we are not actually pleased to call us Harijan, just consider us as humans. So Harijan means simply the people of Hari means Vishnu, the god. Okay, but today we have a common or official name which is scheduled caste. Okay, so it is now most commonly used in India. Kocheril Raman Narayanan, who served as the President of India from 1997 to 2002, was the first member of a scheduled caste to occupy a high office in the country. So it was Kocheril Raman Narayanan was the official Dalit being who came to any higher official post. Okay, he took many years to do that. See, it was on 1997 only. So before him, we had Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I hope all of you know him, the man behind the Constitution of India. He was a Dalit. He was a Mahad Dalit, and he was after what is converted into Buddhism, because in Hinduism there were the caste division. In Buddhism there were all humans. Okay, so it was the tremendous efforts of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar actually brought the Dalits into somewhat called front line of our society. So the Dalit literature, let's look into Dalit literature. What is Dalit literature? So before and a very independent Dalit works came forward, we had writers like Mulkraj Anand and etc., the upper class people to write about the lower class life and all. They were very sympathetic towards them, and they actually wrote so much about the plea and the plight of the people, the Dalit people. But it is actually after a while the Dalit people themselves came to the consciousness that our experience is not said by any other, or no one could ever justify the experience of a Dalit until and unless the writer itself is a Dalit person. So like exactly as the African literature came, after the tremendous and marvelous influences of Chinua Achebe and all. So here the Dalit literature came up with the description and the narrative of Dalit life and experience. So, in the beginning, it was written by the upper class people who were educated enough. Okay, so why the Dalit literature came very late? This question is directly proportionate to the educational facilities we provided to the Dalit people. Okay, because they were called as untouchable. They were not to be touched by the people or the upper caste people. So the upper caste people uh, suppress these guys, and we never thought of giving proper education to those people, and we put them in the, put them just in the just out of the margins of the, social spectrum. So these people were actually kind of, taken away from the popular culture, and taken away from the front line of the culture. Okay, so the Dalit literature is the literature written by the Dalits about their lives. Dalit literature emerged in the 1960s in the Marathi language. So the beginning was through the Marathi language, and if you look into the Dalit literature, major works you can find in Dalit and Tamil literature, I guess. So it has soon appeared in Bangla, Hindi, Kannada, Punjabi, Sindhi, and Tamil languages. It was very far later some Malayalam writers came into the picture, but we are still, lacking efficient writers in this particular genre. Through narratives such as poems, short stories, and autobiographies, which stood out due to their sharp portrayal of reality and Dalit political scene. So, Dalit literature denounced the then prevailing portrayal of life by mainstream Marathi literature. Okay, so as Dalit people struggled, Dalit literature as well as struggled, because they knew their native language, because they were not prominent with Hindi writing, or they were not prominent to translate it into English. It all happened very very late. So Dalit literature were somewhat denounced in the earlier time. It is after an effort given to in for a specific purpose, then only the literature came into the limelight. So now let us look into Bandhu Madhav, the author of our short story Poison Bread. So Bandhu Madhav lived from 1927 to 1997. So here is a brief biography. He was a Dalit short story writer. He belonged to Mahar community in Maharashtra. So Mahar community is, a community which majorly found in Maharashtra. Also, there are people around the places come to that community. These people actually followed Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and majority of them converted into Buddhism. And these people are a group of endogamous castes and lower caste people. They have their own history, a very great history they have, in fact. So majority of them were Buddhist converts. So obviously our Bandhu Madhav was also a Buddhist convert. He wrote majorly during 1940s and 1960s. He was a co-founder of the Little Magazine movement. So this is a Little Magazine movement began in 1950s, where different languages were works from different languages, the poetry, art, essays, fiction, etc. were collected and published. Okay, so he was one of the founder of that, and he had published much of his works there. He is also leading writer of Prabuddha Bharat and Dharmayana. Both are two prominent and frontline publications of that time. So Bandhu Madhav, let's know a little more about him. Bandhu Madhav is the first man of Dalit literature. He is known as the first man of Dalit literature. His writings is the source from which springs the lineage of Dalit stories. His writings are revolutionary expressions born out of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's radiant movement of human liberation. So he was very close to the ideas and propagandas put forward by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, his stories, Bandhu Madhav's stories, are of historical significance because there is a reason for that. Because, his stories are like an artistic record of Dr. Ambedkar's agitation of culture for agitation for culture upliftment. So the efforts done by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar through the time had been reflected by Bandhu Madhav. So his works are considered as historically significant. And then his stories are great legacies of Dalit storytelling. Bandhu Madhav's stories had Dalit life as central, central point or central focus. And we can encounter a realistic description of Dalit lives in his stories, his depictions, and neither exaggerated nor excessive, but are simply, factual things. He will not give you, a wholesome bundle of literary words, techniques, and all. He just used to narrate what is in as such. Okay, there will be factual things rather than the artistic and poetic beauty we can see in his works. So when we read the particular work Poison Bread, we can realize it. So the caste system in India. So in India we had the caste system of which derived from the so called Chadurvarnyam. It is actually proposed by the Brahmins, but they come up with this idea by saying that this is a decree of God, which is not man made, but this is actually made, written and practiced by Brahmins. Okay, so we had four kind of people. Okay, in a society, or the society can be divided into four. So that four was Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So Brahmana is the highest ranked of four varnas. Okay, the traditional class division. Okay, so it include the so called priests, advisors, intellectual leaders. Actually the term Brahman is derived from a Sanskrit term which means educated, knowledge. Okay, so when they consciously preserved education or knowledge or reading within a specific community, the community became Brahmanas. Okay, so they were in the rank 1. In rank 2 we had Kshatriyas, the people, the rulers and the fighters or the soldiers. Okay, these were the Kshatriyas. Then we had Vaishya. Vaishya is third ranked of Varnas, four Varnas. Are so called, merchants, traders, farmers, etc. They were Vaishya. And then Shudra was the lowest ranked people. Okay, they were traditionally the laborers, the servants of higher class family. They were known as Shudra. And then comes Dalit. We actually keeps the Dalit even under Shudra. Okay, it is kind of the fifth category, but we have no defined varna for Dalits. Okay, so the Dalits simply includes the lowest caste people. And I am really apologetic about the picture given there under the title beggar. Sorry for that, because that was the you know that was the definition of Dalits in the earlier time, not now, earlier time. Okay, and then so the Brahmanical propaganda comes like this. So why these four division means, look into the picture. You have given a pyramid. The top of the pyramid is higher quality, and that comes to low. Okay, they call it quality. We can take it and access or ownership to resources and opportunities. You just keep that in mind. Okay, here are the four uh, Varnas. Okay, so according to the Brahmanical propaganda, four Varnas are actually made on the basis that you how you are born. Okay, so Brahmanas were the people who were actually born from Lord Brahma's mouth. Okay, Lord Brahma's mouth. Kshatriyas are born from Lord Brahma's shoulders, and Vaishyas are born from Lord Brahma's thighs, and Shudras, the peasants, are born from God Brahma's feet. So this is their propaganda they use it to impose in the society. So the upper class people actually oppress the Shudras into a social, cultural, and a physiological service. Okay, and that derived a certain people of Dalits, the caste communities that were forced by the caste apathy to slave and bound agricultural labor and undignified sanitation work like manual scavenging and branded untouchable for jobs considered spiritually polluting. Okay, and struggle against extreme violence and discrimination. So within the community of Shudras, we took out certain people who were actually supposed to do kind of unrealistic jobs, like manual scavenging and all. We even today have such people. We use terms like toti. Okay, those people are there. That is, in we are living in 21st century. We have facilities to do certain things. We have machineries, but still we insist on certain people to clean out our human waste and all. Pathetic, right? And then we have Adivasis, which we can call as the indigenous people of South Asia. That is another category here. Okay, so these are the Brahminical propaganda. So why I'm saying all these things is simply because you have to know how society worked and how caste system worked to read that particular work. ആ വർക്ക് വായിക്കാൻ നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടുന്ന ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ആണ് that I've given to you now. Okay, if you know all these, then only you will read and get the actual essence of the work, The Poisoned Bread. Okay, now so let move into The Poisoned Bread, Bandhu Madhav. The picture given there is actually Poisoned Bread എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു collection of modern Marathi literature works in the one of the front covers ആണ്. And then now let us know a bit about the particular work. It is a story of an awakened but suppressed Dalit consciousness. Okay, mark that words, awakened but suppressed Dalit consciousness. It presents the dissenting voices against the upper caste domination and exploitation. Years long ആയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഒരു kind of oppression and exploitation was there. So how to stop it എന്നൊരു question ആൻസർ നമുക്ക് കുറേ ഇതിൻ്റെ അന്ന് കിട്ടും. And it also portrays the psychological enslavement of Mahars. You know, we still say that even after independence we are somewhat enslaved to the thoughts and ideas given by the foreigners. Okay, we are said to do that. So it is the same way that the people of Dalit community faces the society. They, even though there is no legal authority to any upper class people, the so called upper class people, but still we do certain exploitation of Dalits, and Dalits have a psychological way of living that okay, I am supposed to obey that said by the so called upper class. Okay, so this psychological enslavement is questioned in this particular work. It shows how education has empowered a new generation of Dalits to reclaim their legitimate space in caste-ridden society that continues to diminish them. So we believe that we live in a caste-ridden society. Still, we are all conscious about the idea called caste, which should be, given very less importance in our life, but we put it at the first thing to be noted about a human being. So almost caste ridden society we have today. So what is the hand of education to make a caste ridden society? First thing, What is the hand of education for a Dalit in a Dalit's life, in his life in today's 21st century? So these are the two things we have to discuss in this particular work. So here is a brief summary of our work. In the coming classes we will discuss that chapter in details. The Poison Bread is a story of an awakened but suppressed Dalit consciousness and presents the angry voices against upper caste domination and exploitation. It shows how education has empowered a new generation of Dalits to win their legitimate space in a caste ridden society that continues to diminish them. Mahadeva, indifferent to custom, addresses the upper caste landlord Babu Patil as Patil and despises his grandfather's respect to him. Patil, on his part, continued to humiliate the two, who Mr. Mahadev and his grandfather Yatalya. We will come to that. Okay, they are denied their just wages or a mere share of corn and forced in the end to have breads which was given to the cows and that full of that was full of dung in it, and it's turned into a poisoned bread. While the consumption of the bread took the life of his grandfather, he dies with the realization that his true Dalit identity is not on slavishness but of reclaiming his right as a human being. The struggle of the struggle of right leaves to his grandson Mahadeva, invoking the future of the Dalit movement. So that is how the particular chapter going on. We will see in detail what is happening in this particular in this particular short story. So for the next class I want all of you to go and read that particular chapter given in your textbook Issues That Matter, chapter 7, Poison Bread. Give it a primary reading after going through the entire class, and give it a primary reading and come up with your idea or your appreciation of that particular work critically. Okay, and then we will have a discussion on this particular chapter. I hope I am clear to you. If you have any queries and any doubts, please do contact us. Okay, thank you dears, have a nice day, and I'll be expecting all of you to complete reading and writing the particular work I have given to you on this chapter. Okay, thank you guys.